Hi guys, I'm live. How you guys doing? This is an early, the Friday Jack, Jimmy Against Christ. It's an early one. Sorry, it's a day early, but it's on my mind to do it, so that's okay. It's an early Friday Jack. Here's the deal. I think that I think it's basic humans just have a need to have truth, and we do have a sense of justice and right and wrong. We have consciences, and so at the end of our lives, at the end of the day, whatever they say, it's very comforting to think and know and believe that justice is served in some way in the universe or whatever, or in some way bad people get what's coming to them and good people get what's coming to them. If not, the universe doesn't seem fair, or things don't seem fair, and it doesn't give any motive to being good, which doesn't seem right in and of itself, does it? But let me examine something here. I've talked about this before a little bit. The problem of that doesn't get solved by having a God that doesn't have to be just himself. God can be a tyrant because there's nobody above him. So that still doesn't answer the problem. That still doesn't solve. Believing in God doesn't solve the problem. Because we're judged by God, but nobody judges God. So God can be a total dick, and they're still injustice. Only a dick. Excuse me, I have to click my ears. This evidence. They make those things just loud enough to be legal. Just any louder, and it'd be illegal for them to have them that loud. Anyway, thing is, the answer of justice doesn't get served or answered by believing in a God that's off the hook. So we just saying that we're on the hook, but God's off the hook, and God is evil. That just shifts. God is evil. That just shifts the problem. It doesn't solve it. Believing in God doesn't satisfy our thirst for truth, knowledge, and justice, because you have no reason to think. You have no proof that God is good, other than He had His own people write the Bible saying God is love. But that's exactly what a wicked God would say. If I were a wicked God, I'd want my prophets and people to say, I am love. But my actions would prove otherwise, but that's okay. I can get away with it because I'm God. That still doesn't solve the problem of justice in the universe. And yet, it also doesn't solve it if we're off the hook. If I can do whatever I want, completely wantonly do whatever I want, that also isn't fair. So Christianity doesn't solve anything. Governments on earth, they kind of try to solve it. They keep us kind of in check and in line, but they don't solve it because they can be corrupt and they can be wrong. They can be unjust also. So where does one look for justice and truth in this issue? But the only thing that works for me, because first of all, before I say that, if the Bible's true, I'm a Satanist. I'll serve Satan if there's a God. If there's a God, I already serve Satan de facto. It's the only way out of the conundrum. At least Satan, I can do what I want. His only command is do what thou wilt, and there's no exactness of perfect performance required. God, one sin, you're in hell. Satan, well, he doesn't demand perfect obedience. If I goof up, sorry, try again tomorrow. Okay, the only thing that makes sense, and it doesn't make sense if there's nothing. If we just live and die and there's nothing to it afterlife, then our whole lives don't make sense, and that's not an answer. So the only answer that makes, and Scientology and all that isn't the answer, and thank God it isn't, because it's a tyrant. It's run by tyrants on earth. Everyone Hubbard now, Dave Miscavige, total asshole, runs that whole thing. And Ron Hubbard was a crazy person, or very, very demented, or very, very evil, or whatever. The only answer is what Buddha taught: that the universe has laws of karma. And we're all born for a reason, with our fate and our karma, to work out our spiritual ascension over lifetimes. It's the only solution to the problem. It lets people get. It means that even if the government of Earth judges you wrong, you're still okay, because the universe can judge you okay, and then the universe trumps the government of God. I mean the government of Earth. The universe. It doesn't matter what people think if the universe knows I'm right. Secondly, it omits the problem of it with God that can do whatever he wants and be evil to all of us and get off the hook, because that's not possible in Buddhism either, because they don't believe in God. It also doesn't mean that when you die, nothing happens and you just go to the grave, because that's not true either. The only solution, the only belief other than being a Satanist, the only belief I will entertain as being at least helpful in spirituality is the Buddhist thing, karma, and all that. So if there's spiritual truth and any justice and answer in the universe, it has to be, in my book, that the universe is just. The universe is an infinite, all-knowing force that is good, and bad people get what's coming to them. Good people get what's coming to them. For instance, I was born in this body because what I did before I was here, and it was arranged, and it was for my own good and for the good of others, and blah 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 blah. There's justice there. The universe isn't an evil entity like God that can just do what he wants and flood the whole earth just because he feels like it, just because he loves this groaning and moaning of his dying creations. The universe is good. In fact, Einstein asked that. The big question in life is, do we live in a just universe? Einstein posed that question. I think he thought we did, but rather than just make it the issue, he believed that our answer to the problem of is the universe just is very important. If we don't think the universe is just, then we think our goodness is hopeless and the other else is going to get away with their badness. So that's not a hopeful thing either. But if the universe is just and I believe that's my belief, my spiritual belief. It's the only belief that even comforts anything. Only an insane, stupid, or ignorant person would be comforted by anything else, other than perhaps being a Satanist. Christians are the worst. They're so deluded, yet they all have themselves on this tight, thin rope. If I commit one sin and I die in it, I'm going to hell. You're already in hell. Wake up. All right. Love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.